Can you come in today? It's urgent. The principal's voice echoed in my head as I sat in her office, hands trembling, waiting for the words I hoped I wouldn't hear. Urgent? About Cole? My only son had always been brilliant, but I knew he had a knack for pushing boundaries. Was it another prank? Some overdue assignment? Or something worse? Principal Reed's eyes met mine, her expression a mix of disappointment and exhaustion. Mrs. Harper, she began, carefully choosing her words. We've had to take an extreme step regarding Cole. He's been expelled. Expelled. The word hit me like a train. I blinked, trying to process it. Expelled? There must be some mistake. Cole is a bright student, top of his class in math last term. Why would he? Principal Reed slid a thin folder across her desk. Cole hasn't submitted his own work in weeks. Every assignment has been generated by AI. She paused, her tone softening. When confronted, he showed no remorse. He claimed he doesn't need to learn in a traditional way anymore because AI can do it for him. I stared at the folder, my mind racing. AI? Of course, I'd heard him talk about it, those apps he used to speed things up, as he put it. But expelled? For homework? Surely this doesn't warrant. Mrs. Harper, she cut in gently, it's not just the assignments. It's his attitude. He's convinced that school has nothing left to teach him. That it's obsolete. And he's been vocal about it, influencing other students. My throat tightened. Other students? She nodded. We can't risk him undermining the educational environment here. Perhaps some time away will help him, and you decide how to move forward. I left the school in a haze, anger and confusion swirling inside me. How could Cole, my Cole, let things spiral so far? At home, I found him in his room, headphones on, typing furiously on his laptop. His room was as chaotic as my emotions, empty snack wrappers, notebooks covered in scribbles, and his ever-glowing computer screen. Cole, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. We need to talk. Now. He sighed, pulling off his headphones. Let me guess. They called you. They expelled you, I snapped. For using AI to cheat on your homework. Do you realize what you've done? His calmness unnerved me. Mom, it's not cheating. It's efficiency. Why waste time memorizing stuff I can look up in seconds? AI is the future, and I'm ahead of the curve. Efficiency? I echoed, incredulous. Cole, school isn't just about learning facts. It's about discipline, problem solving, social skills. Discipline? He scoffed. The world doesn't care about how well I write an essay. It cares about results. And I can get results faster and better with AI. His words felt like a slap. So you think you're too good for school now? No, Mom, he said, leaning back in his chair. I think school is too slow for me. I've already learned more with AI in 6 months than I have in years of school. Why waste time there? I stared at him, my frustration bubbling over. Because life isn't just about shortcuts, Cole. What about integrity? Effort? Relationships? Are you just going to let a machine do everything for you? He shrugged. If it works, why not? I was losing him, and I didn't know how to pull him back. What happens when the AI fails you? When you're faced with something it can't solve? It won't, he said simply. Mom, you don't get it. AI is the future. With it, I can build a company, make millions, billions, even, and never look back. School is for people who don't see that yet. His confidence terrified me. It wasn't just rebellion, it was conviction. That night, as I tried to sleep, his words replayed in my mind. I can build a company, make billions. Was this a phase, or was he really serious? What would happen if I pushed him to go back to school? Would he rebel further? Unable to rest, I decided to check his room. The glow of his laptop was still visible under the door. Quietly, I stepped in. Cole was asleep on his desk, his laptop still open. Curiosity got the better of me. I tapped the keyboard, and the screen came to life. Lines of code filled the screen, alongside complex diagrams and what looked like a business model. My breath caught as I read the title of the document, Project Infinity, AI for Universal Solutions. What was he doing? And then I saw it, a folder labeled Launch Plans. My heart raced. This wasn't just a teenager playing with technology. Cole was building something. Something big. What was I supposed to do now? I couldn't sleep after discovering the files on Cole's computer. I kept pacing in the living room, glancing at the hallway every so often. How could he, my 14-year-old, be working on something so elaborate? Was this just a phase, or had I underestimated him entirely? When morning came, I decided I couldn't wait any longer. I marched into his room, where he was already awake, sitting at his desk, a mug of coffee in his hand. He looked up as if he'd been expecting me. "You went through my laptop," he said flatly, no accusation, just a statement. "I did," I admitted, crossing my arms. "And you need to explain, Cole. Right now. What is a Project Infinity, and why are you acting like you're running a Fortune 500 company instead of going to high school?" He put his mug down and leaned back in his chair. "You wouldn't get it." "Try me," I shot back. He sighed, then turned his chair to face me fully. "Okay, fine. Project Infinity is an AI platform I'm building. It's not just for solving homework or answering questions. It's for automating tasks, anything you can think of. Writing, designing, coding, analyzing data. Imagine a tool that could do in seconds what takes experts days or weeks. It's smarter, faster, and more efficient than anything out there." I blinked, trying to absorb the enormity of his words. "You're building this?" "Yes," he said simply. "I've already trained the initial model and set up a prototype. The investors I've contacted online think it has potential. If I scale it up, it could revolutionize how people work. No more grunt work. No more wasted time. And you think this is better than school?" "Obviously." I felt my chest tighten. His arrogance was infuriating, but beneath it was something that scared me even more. He truly believed what he was saying. "Cole," I began, softening my tone, "do you really think skipping school is the answer? You need an education, a foundation. What if this doesn't work out?" "What if?" "What if it does?" he interrupted. "What if I create something huge, something that changes the world?" "You're always saying you want me to dream big, Mom." "Well, this is it. I'm dreaming big. Why can't you see that?" "Because you're 14, Cole." I snapped. "You can't just throw away your future on a gamble. Do you even know what it takes to build something like this? The competition? The legalities? The risks? That's why I'm working on it now," he said, his voice steady. "I don't need school to teach me things I can learn online in minutes. You're stuck in the past, Mom. I'm looking ahead." For a moment, I couldn't speak. He was so sure of himself, so determined, and it terrified me. "Okay," I finally said, my voice trembling. "Then prove it." He frowned. "What do you mean?" I leaned against his desk, meeting his gaze. "You think you're ready to take on the world with this? Fine. You've got 1 year, Cole. 1 year to turn this Project Infinity into something meaningful. Something profitable. If you can do that, I'll reconsider. But if you fail, you go back to school. No arguments." His eyes lit up, the defiance replaced by excitement. "Deal," he said immediately, extending his hand. "Think about it first," I warned. "This isn't a game, Cole. If you don't pull this off, there's no second chance. School isn't optional." He smirked. I don't need a second chance, Mom. You'll see. He shook my hand, sealing the deal, and turned back to his computer. I'll show you, he said over his shoulder. Just wait. Later that evening, Cole called me into his room. Since we're doing this, he said, gesturing for me to sit, you should at least know what I'm working on. I sat hesitantly as he pulled up a presentation on his screen. His voice was steady, almost professional, as he began to explain. Project Infinity isn't just AI, it's a system. A fully integrated platform that learns, adapts, and improves itself. Right now, it can write, analyze, and even create art. But in the future, it could manage entire businesses, solve medical problems, or predict economic trends. He clicked through slides filled with charts, prototypes, and future projections. I've already coded the framework and trained the model using open-source data. My next step is to pitch it to investors. If I can get funding, I can scale this into something real. I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions, pride at his brilliance, fear at his ambition, and a gnawing unease about where this could lead. Cole, I said quietly as he finished, this is impressive. But do you realize what you're taking on? The pressure, the responsibility? This isn't just a hobby. It's a business. Are you ready for that? He nodded without hesitation. I am. I wasn't sure if I believed him, but I'd made the deal. Now, all I could do was wait, and hope I hadn't just made the biggest mistake of my life. It happened so fast, I could hardly keep up. One day, Cole was tinkering in his room, speaking in excited riddles about algorithms and datasets. The next, his prototype was live online, attracting tech forums like moths to a flame. Every time I walked past his room, I heard the telltale ding of a new notification. Messages poured in, praise, questions, even job offers. Mom, come look at this. Cole shouted one evening. I set down the dish I was scrubbing and hurried to his room. On his screen was a thread of comments on some tech platform I didn't recognize. Words like revolutionary and game-changing jumped out at me. This guy's a startup veteran, Cole explained, pointing at one comment. He says if I add collaborative features, it could be the next big SaaS platform. And this one? He scrolled. This is a venture capitalist. He's interested in funding. Funding? I echoed, alarmed. He spun in his chair, grinning. Yeah. This is real, Mom. People see what I see. Project Infinity isn't just an idea anymore. It's happening. I wanted to share his excitement, but I couldn't shake the unease gnawing at me. That's amazing, Cole. But are you sleeping? Eating? You haven't come down for dinner in 2 days. He waved me off. I'm fine. This is more important. I'm on the verge of something huge. Huge. That word. It echoed in my mind as I lay awake that night. Cole was thriving in his element, but at what cost? I'd find empty snack wrappers on his desk, dark circles under his eyes, and sometimes I'd hear him muttering code in his sleep. And then there were the ethics. One morning, I brought him breakfast, a plate of eggs and toast, and caught him in a heated video call. On the screen, a middle-aged man in a crisp suit was leaning forward, speaking with intensity. Listen, Cole, the man was saying, automation isn't just a tool. It's power. With your platform, we could streamline industries, cut out inefficiencies, and yes, eliminate redundant labor. Wait, I interrupted. Eliminate labor? You mean people's jobs? Cole turned to me, clearly annoyed. Mom, I'm in the middle of something. No, I want to hear this, I said, standing firm. The man raised an eyebrow, but continued smoothly. Yes, but it's progress. Inevitably, some jobs will become obsolete. That's the nature of innovation. Think about the possibilities, cheaper production, faster results, and Cole here could lead the charge. Cole beamed. I froze. Cole, I said, my voice trembling, Have you thought about what that means? People losing jobs? Families struggling? It's not my fault if people can't adapt, he said dismissively. I felt my stomach turn. This wasn't the boy I raised, the boy who used to volunteer at food drives and cry at sad movies. This was someone else. Cole, we need to talk, I said firmly, but he was already turning back to his screen. The tension between us grew as days turned into weeks. Cole spent every waking hour on his project, and our conversations were reduced to brief exchanges, mostly about his progress. Investors were taking notice, including one in particular, a man named Adrian Beck. He's a big deal, Cole explained, showing me Adrian's profile. Serial entrepreneur, millionaire, and he loves disruptive tech. What's the catch? I asked. There isn't one, Cole insisted. He just wants to meet and discuss terms. But there was a catch. I could feel it in the way Adrian's emails were phrased, the way he emphasized opportunity without ever mentioning accountability. The meeting happened in a swanky downtown office. Adrian was charismatic, with a sharp suit and an even sharper smile. He listened intently as Cole pitched Project Infinity, nodding and interjecting with encouraging remarks. When Cole finished, Adrian leaned back, steepling his fingers. Impressive. Truly impressive. I can see this going far, Cole. But to get there, you'll need resources, funding, marketing, legal support. I can provide all of that. Cole's eyes lit up. Really? Adrian nodded, then his tone shifted, becoming almost conspiratorial. But here's the thing. Innovation always comes with challenges. We might need to make some adjustments to the platform. For example, certain industries would benefit more if we limited access to smaller competitors. And of course, the data your AI collects, it could be monetized for greater profitability. I stiffened. Monetized? You mean sold? Adrian smiled at me, but it didn't reach his eyes. In a way, yes. But only for strategic purposes. It's standard practice in tech. Nothing unethical. I looked at Cole, hoping he'd see the red flags, but he was nodding along, captivated. I'd need to think about it, Cole said finally, though his tone suggested he already had. Of course, Adrian replied smoothly. But don't take too long. Opportunities like this don't wait forever. That night, I confronted Cole. You're not seriously considering this, are you? I demanded. Why not? He shot back. Do you have any idea how big this could be? He's offering everything I need. At what cost? I countered. Cole, this isn't just about success. It's about doing the right thing. You can't let someone like Adrian hijack your vision. Do you even know what he plans to do with it? Mom, he said, exasperated, this is my chance to prove myself. To prove to you that I don't need school or any of that outdated nonsense. Why can't you just trust me? Because I was scared, I wanted to say. Scared of losing him to his ambition. Scared of what he might become. But I couldn't find the words. Cole was still staring at his laptop, Adrian's proposal glowing on the screen. I have to decide by tomorrow, he muttered, more to himself than to me. And I had no idea how to stop him. I didn't sleep that night. While Cole deliberated over Adrian Beck's proposal, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering where I went wrong. How had my bright, kind-hearted son become so entangled in this cutthroat world? Was it my fault for not understanding him sooner? For not seeing how deeply he needed to prove himself? The next morning, I found him in the kitchen, staring at his laptop with bloodshot eyes. A cold cup of coffee sat untouched beside him. Did you decide? I asked cautiously. He looked up, his face a mixture of excitement and exhaustion. Not yet. But I'm leaning toward yes. Why? I pressed. Because this is it, Mom, he said, his voice cracking with a mix of hope and desperation. This is my chance to show everyone, show you, that I'm not wasting my time. That I can make something of myself without sitting in a classroom listening to stuff I could learn faster with AI. I sat across from him, my heart breaking. Cole, do you think I care about grades or traditional paths? I care about you. About the person you're becoming. I'm doing this for us, he argued. For a better life? Don't you want that? Of course I do, I said, leaning forward, but not like this. Not if it means losing who you are. You've always been someone who cared about others, who stood up for what's right. Do you even recognize yourself right now? He flinched, but I pressed on. Cole, this deal with Adrian, it's not about building your dream. It's about building his. He'll take everything you've worked for and twist it into something you won't even recognize. Then what am I supposed to do? He asked, his voice breaking. Walk away? Let this all go to waste? No, I said firmly. You pivot. You take everything you've learned, everything you've built, and make it something you're proud of. Something that helps people, not just line someone else's pockets. He shook his head, tears welling up. What if I fail? What if I walk away and it all falls apart? I reached across the table and took his hand. Then you fail on your own terms, with your integrity intact. And you get back up and try again. Because that's what success really is. It's not about shortcuts or quick wins. It's about who you are when the dust settles. He stared at me for a long moment, his face a storm of emotions. Then, slowly, he nodded. That afternoon, Cole called Adrian and declined the deal. Adrian was gracious on the surface but couldn't hide the edge in his tone. You're making a mistake, Cole, he said. Opportunities like this don't come twice. I guess I'll have to take that risk, Cole replied, his voice steady. When he hung up, I saw a flicker of doubt in his eyes, but also something else, relief. Over the next few months, Cole reworked his project with a new focus on ethical applications. He partnered with non-profit organizations to use AI for educational tools, helping underprivileged kids gain access to quality learning resources. His platform didn't make millions overnight, but it gained respect and credibility. One evening, as we were cleaning up dinner, Cole came into the kitchen holding a letter. It's from the school, he said, handing it to me. I unfolded it and read, my eyes widening. They want you back? He nodded. Yeah. They said they've been following my progress and think I could bring a unique perspective to some of their advanced programs. But? I've decided to go, he said. I think I need the structure. And maybe there's still stuff I can learn from them, too. I felt tears sting my eyes as I pulled him into a hug. I'm so proud of you, Cole. Cole returned to school the next semester, balancing his studies with his AI work. It wasn't easy, there were still late nights and moments of doubt, but he approached everything with a newfound sense of purpose. Mom, he said one evening, looking up from his laptop, do you think I can really make a difference? I know you can, I replied, smiling. And for the first time in a long time, I saw my son, the dreamer, the builder, the boy who believed he could change the world. This is Anonymous Stories. If you enjoyed this story, support us by subscribing to this channel and sharing this story to inspire others. Do you think Claire's initial sentiments were valid? Was Cole right to decide to quit schooling initially? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section. See you soon. And as always, it's Anonymous Stories.